The Galactic Council had marked Earth with a red warning beacon 300 years ago. Every ship's navigation system automatically avoided the small blue planet in the outer rim of the Milky Way. The official records listed it as Sector 7 Alpha, biological hazard, no entry. Captain Rex guided his cargo vessel through the nearby systems, careful to maintain the mandatory distance from the Forbidden World. His crew of mixed alien species had heard the stories, whispered tales of a violent race that had destroyed itself in nuclear fire. The Council's historians claimed the humans had been too aggressive, too unpredictable to survive their own technological advancement. "Captain, we're picking up strange signals from the dead zone," reported his communications. Officer, a tall blue-skinned Altarian named Kess. "It's not supposed to be possible. The planet should be lifeless." Rex frowned at his display screens. According to all official reports, Earth had gone silent after a massive war that left the surface uninhabitable. The Galactic Council had declared it a tomb world and forbids all contact to prevent contamination from whatever toxins or diseases might remain. "Must be equipment malfunction," Rex muttered, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong with the official story. He had been a space trader for 40 years and had never encountered a planet that stayed completely silent for 3 centuries. Meanwhile, on Earth, Major Kate Johnson stood in the control room of Lunar Base 7, watching the alien ship pass by on their long-range sensors. The humans had been monitoring galactic traffic for decades, learning about the vast civilization that existed beyond their solar system. They knew about the man, about the lies the Council had spread. "Another cargo ship staying well clear," she reported to her commander. "They really believe we're all dead down here." The truth was far different. Humanity had survived their wars and had spent the last 3 centuries rebuilding, advancing, and preparing. They had developed technology that surpassed most galactic civilizations. Their ships could travel faster than light without the bulky engines other races required. Their weapons were more precise and powerful. Most importantly, they had learned to work together as a species. The Council's ban had actually been a gift, giving humanity time to grow strong without interference. Earth's governments had unified after discovering they were not alone in the universe. The threat of alien contact had forced humans to put aside their differences and focus on survival and advancement. Dr. Emma Brooks, Earth's leading xenobiologist, reviewed the latest intelligence reports from their hidden observation posts throughout the galaxy. Humanity had been secretly studying other races for years, preparing for the day they would reveal themselves to the cosmos. "The Galactic Council controls over 10,000 worlds," she explained to the assembled leaders. "They maintain order through a combination of trade agreements and military pressure. Most member races are peaceful, but they've become dependent on the Council's protection and resources." What the Council didn't know was that humans had been quietly helping some of the oppressed worlds on the galactic frontier. Human ships, disguised with alien technology, had been delivering supplies to planets suffering under Council neglect. They had stopped pirate raids and protected trade routes, always careful to remain invisible. The Council believed they were maintaining peace through their strict rules and oversight, but many worlds struggled under their bureaucratic system. Some planets went years without receiving needed medical supplies or technological aid because of red tape and political disputes. General Tom Mitchell reviewed the reports from Earth's hidden fleet. Humanity had built hundreds of advanced ships in secret, using asteroid mining and automated construction facilities hidden throughout the outer solar system. They had even established small bases in other star systems, always careful to avoid Council patrols. "We can't stay hidden forever," he told the Global Defense Council. "Our presence is helping people, but we're just a few ships making small differences. If we revealed ourselves properly, we could do so much more." The debate had been ongoing for months. Some leaders wanted to maintain secrecy, fearing that revealing Earth's survival would lead to conflict with the Council. Others argued that humanity had a responsibility to help the suffering worlds they had discovered. As Captain Rex's ship disappeared into hyperspace, Major Johnson made a decision that would change everything. She activated the deep space communication array and began broadcasting a simple message toward the galactic core. This is Earth calling. We're very much alive, and we think it's time we had a proper conversation. The message would take weeks to reach the Council's capital world, but when it did, it would shatter 3 centuries of lies and force the galaxy to confront the truth about the humans they had written off as extinct. The Galactic Council's capital, world of Prima, buzzed with activity as the impossible message reached their central communications hub. For 300 years, Sector 7 Alpha had been silent. Now, a clear transmission in perfect galactic standard was coming from the supposedly dead world called Earth. Council leader Vorn, a reptilian creature with silver scales, stared at the message transcript with growing alarm. His advisors crowded around the conference table, their various alien features twisted in confusion and fear. "This must be some kind of trick," declared Military Commander Drac, his forearms gesturing wildly. "The humans destroyed themselves centuries ago. We have detailed reports from our survey teams." But Chief Scientist Yala, her large eyes blinking rapidly, had already begun running analysis on the transmission. "The signal is definitely originating from Earth," she reported. "The transmission patterns match no known technology in our databases. If this is a deception, it's beyond anything we've encountered." Back on Earth, the response had been swift and decisive. Within hours of Major Johnson's transmission, governments around the world had activated their long-prepared protocols. Hidden facilities across the planet came online, revealing the true extent of human technological advancement. President Williams addressed the joint session of the World Council, her voice carrying to every nation on Earth and to the human colonies scattered throughout the outer solar system. 300 years ago, the galaxy decided we were too dangerous to survive, she said. Today, we proved them wrong. We've not only survived, we've grown stronger, wiser, and more united than any civilization in known space. The truth was staggering. While the Galactic Council had written off Earth as dead, humanity had undergone a technological revolution. They had developed clean fusion power, advanced artificial intelligence, and medical technology that could extend human lifespans to over 200 years. Most remarkably, they had achieved faster-than-light travel without the massive infrastructure other races required. Dr. Brooks stood before a wall of screens, showing intelligence gathered from across the galaxy. "We've been watching and learning," she explained to the assembled world leaders. "The Council's greatest weakness is their assumption that advanced technology requires large, visible infrastructure. Our ships are smaller, faster, and completely undetectable to their sensors. The human fleet that emerged from hiding was unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Sleek vessels no larger than Council fighters could travel distances that required Council ships the size of cities. Human medical technology could heal wounds that would be fatal to most alien species. Their computing power exceeded that of civilizations thousands of years older. On Prima, a Council emergency session stretched into its third day. Reports were flooding in from across the galaxy about mysterious ships that had been secretly helping troubled worlds. Pirates had been defeated by unknown forces. Medical supplies had appeared on plague-stricken planets with no record of who had delivered them. How long have they been active? Council Leader Vorn demanded, his voice echoing through the Grand Chamber. Intelligence Director Mex, an insectoid creature with compound eyes, consulted his reports. Based on the evidence we're gathering, at least 50 years, maybe longer. They've been incredibly careful, but now that we know what to look for, the signs are everywhere. The Council faced an impossible situation. For 3 centuries, they had told the galaxy that Earth was a wasteland. They had used the story of human self-destruction as a warning about the dangers of unchecked aggression and technology. Now, it appeared that the humans had not only survived, but had been secretly operating throughout. Council Space. Admiral Ross commanded Earth's primary battle fleet from the hidden base inside the asteroid Ceres. His ships were already moving toward the edge of the solar system, ready to defend Earth if the Council's response turned violent. "We've spent 300 years preparing for this moment," he told his officers. "Every simulation, every training exercise, every technological advance has been leading to today. The galaxy is about to learn what humans can accomplish when we work together." The most shocking revelation came when human intelligence analysts revealed the true scope of their knowledge. They had been monitoring Council communications, mapping their territories, and studying their technology for decades. In some areas, human understanding of galactic civilization exceeded what the Council knew about themselves. General Mitchell reviewed the deployment reports as human ships moved into position throughout the galaxy. "We're not looking for a fight," he reminded his commanders. "But if the Council forces one on us, they'll discover that writing us off as extinct was the biggest mistake they ever made. The galaxy was about to change forever. The humans were no longer content to hide in the shadows, and their emergence would challenge everything the Galactic Council thought they knew about power, technology, and survival in the cosmos. The human delegation arrived at Prima in a ship that defied every principle of galactic engineering. Where Council vessels were massive, bulky constructions filled with complex machinery, the human ship Endeavor was sleek, elegant, and impossibly fast. It had crossed half the galaxy in 2 weeks, a journey that should have taken 3 months. Using Council technology. Ambassador Lisa Park stood on the bridge as they approached the capital world. Her diplomatic team prepared for the most important negotiation in human history. Behind her calm exterior, she carried the weight of representing not just Earth, but the future relationship between humanity and the galaxy. "Incoming transmission from Prima Control," reported Navigation Officer Jake Miller. "They're requesting our ship specifications and technology readouts." Park smiled slightly. The Council was already trying to understand how human ships worked. "Tell them we'll be happy to discuss technology exchange during the formal negotiations. For now, we request standard diplomatic docking procedures." On Prima, the arrival of the human ship had caused chaos in the Council chambers. Scientists and military analysts crowded around sensor displays, trying to understand what they were seeing. The human vessel showed no signs of the massive energy signatures that should accompany faster-than-light travel. It appeared to be using some form of space-folding technology that their best physicists insisted was impossible. Council leader Vorn prepared for the meeting with growing unease. His intelligence reports painted a picture of a civilization that had advanced beyond anything in known space while supposedly extinct. The humans had been secretly helping worlds throughout the galaxy. Their technology was centuries ahead of Council standards, and they showed no signs of the aggression that had supposedly led to their destruction. "What do we know about their intentions?" Vorn asked his advisors as they prepared for the formal first contact ceremony. Chief Diplomat Wren, an elderly creature with purple skin and silver eyes, consulted his briefings. "Their communications have been respectful but firm. They're not seeking Council membership, but they want recognition of Earth's sovereignty and the right to operate freely in galactic space." The formal meeting took place in Prima's Grand Assembly Hall, with representatives from hundreds of Council worlds in attendance. Ambassador Park entered with her small team, their simple diplomatic uniforms contrasting sharply with the elaborate ceremonial dress of the Council delegates. 300 years ago, the Galactic Council declared humanity extinct, Park began, her voice carrying clearly through the vast chamber. "Today, we return not as supplicants seeking membership, but as equals seeking mutual understanding and cooperation. The reaction was immediate. Delegates whispered frantically among themselves, while others demanded to know how humanity had survived and why they had remained hidden for so long. Park remained calm as she activated a holographic display showing images from Earth and the human colonies. Green forests, bustling cities, advanced factories, and space installations demonstrated clearly that humanity had not only survived, but thrived during their imposed isolation. "We used the time you gave us wisely," she continued. "Instead of expanding aggressively across the galaxy, we focused on solving the problems that had once threatened our survival. We eliminated poverty, ended wars between our nations, and developed sustainable technology that works in harmony with our environment." Council leader Vorn leaned forward, his reptilian features sharp with suspicion. "You claim to seek peace, yet our reports indicate human vessels have been operating illegally throughout Council space for decades." Park nodded calmly. "We have indeed been active in the galaxy. When we discovered worlds suffering from pirate attacks, plague, or natural disasters, we provided assistance. We saved lives and protected innocent beings while carefully maintaining our secrecy. If helping those in need is illegal under Council law, then we gladly admit our guilt." The chamber erupted in debate. Some delegates demanded to know why the Council had failed to provide the aid that humans had secretly delivered. Others questioned whether humanity's advanced technology posed a threat to galactic stability. Admiral Jane Foster, Earth's military representative, stepped forward when the discussion turned to security concerns. "Our technology is defensive in nature," she explained. "We've had the capability to strike at Council worlds for over a century, yet we chose instead to remain hidden and help where we could. Our actions speak louder than any words about our peaceful intentions." Dr. Brooks presented the scientific data that proved humanity's technological superiority. Their medical advances could cure diseases that Council science considered incurable. Their energy systems were clean and efficient. Their computers could process information at speeds that made Council systems look primitive. But the most shocking revelation came when Park displayed a star map showing the extent of human knowledge about the galaxy. They had been watching, learning, and mapping Council territory for generations. They knew about internal conflicts, resource shortages, and political tensions that the Council tried to keep secret. "We're not here to conquer or control," Park concluded. "We're here to offer partnership. The galaxy faces challenges that require cooperation, not isolation. Humanity is ready to take its place among the stars, not as subjects of the Council, but as friends and allies to all peaceful beings." The Council's response came in the form of a test that would determine humanity's true nature. Within days of the historic meeting, a crisis erupted in the Outer Rim territories that would force humans to reveal whether their peaceful claims were genuine or merely diplomatic deception. The agricultural world of Havren was under attack by a massive pirate fleet led by the notorious warlord Grix, a battle-scarred alien who commanded over 200 ships. For years, Grix had terrorized the outer systems, knowing that Council forces were too slow and bureaucratic to respond effectively to his hit-and-run tactics. Council Military Commander Drac presented the situation to the Emergency Assembly. "Havren supplies food to 17 systems. If it falls, millions will face starvation. Our nearest battle fleet is 6 weeks away. By then, the planet will be destroyed." All eyes turned to Ambassador Park and her delegation. This was clearly a deliberate test. The Council wanted to see how humanity would respond to a crisis that required immediate military action. Park consulted quickly with Admiral Foster before addressing the Assembly. "Earth's fleet can reach Havren in 18 hours. We're prepared to defend the planet and its people, but we want Council approval for our intervention." The debate was fierce and fast. Some council members worried about setting a precedent that would allow humans to operate military forces throughout galactic space. Others argued that thousands of innocent lives hung in the balance and immediate action was more important than political concerns. Council leader Vorn made the decision that would define humanity's relationship with the galaxy. The Council authorizes human intervention at Havren. Let us see if your actions match your peaceful words. The human response exceeded everyone's expectations. Admiral Foster's task force dropped out of hyperspace around Havren, just as Grix's pirates began their final assault on the planet's defenses. The human ships were outnumbered nearly 10-1, but they possessed advantages that quickly became apparent. Captain Mike Thompson commanded the lead destroyer Defiant as it engaged the pirate fleet. Human weapons were incredibly precise, targeting engines and weapon systems rather than attempting to destroy enemy ships completely. Within minutes, dozens of pirate vessels found themselves disabled but intact, their crews alive but helpless. Pirate fleet, this is Captain Thompson of the Earth Defense Force. He broadcast on all frequencies. Your ships are disabled. Stand down immediately and prepare to be boarded. Any vessel that continues to attack civilian targets will be destroyed. Warlord Grix, commanding from his massive flagship, was stunned by the speed and precision of the human attack. His sensors couldn't even track how the small human ships were moving. They seemed to teleport around the battlefield, appearing wherever they were needed most. Impossible. Grix snarled at his crew. No fleet that small could disable my ship so quickly. What are these humans using? The answer became clear when human boarding parties began securing the disabled pirate vessels. They moved through ship corridors with perfect coordination, their powered armor allowing them to overcome any resistance. But instead of executing the pirates as expected, they provided medical care to the wounded and treated all prisoners humanely. Havren's surface. The population watched in amazement as the massive pirate fleet that had terrorized them for days was systematically neutralized in less than 4 hours. The human ships then began rescue operations, saving the crews of damaged vessels. Both pirate and planetary defense forces, Dr. Alice Cooper, Earth's chief medical officer for the mission, established field hospitals on Havren to treat both the planet's defenders and the captured pirates. Her advanced medical technology could heal injuries that local doctors considered fatal, and she showed no distinction between friend and enemy when providing care. "Why are you helping us?" asked a wounded pirate as Dr. Cooper treated his injuries. "We were trying to destroy your people just hours ago." Cooper looked up from her medical scanner with a gentle smile. "Because every life has value. That's what we learned during our time alone, that our strength comes not from our ability to destroy, but from our commitment to preserve and protect life wherever we find it." The aftermath of the Havren incident sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy. Videos of human ships precisely disabling enemy vessels without unnecessary destruction spread across the communication networks. Stories of human medical teams treating wounded pirates with the same care as planetary defenders challenged every assumption about human nature. Council leader Vorn studied the battle reports with growing amazement. The humans had faced impossible odds and emerged victorious without losing a single ship. They had shown mercy to their enemies and compassion to all who needed help. Most importantly, they had immediately offered to turn over all captured pirates to Council authorities rather than claiming them as prizes of war. They could have destroyed Grix's entire fleet in minutes, Military Commander Drac observed. Instead, they chose to preserve life and minimize damage. This isn't the behavior of a conquest-minded species. Ambassador Park's final report to the Council was simple but profound. Humanity seeks not to rule the galaxy, but to serve it. We offer our strength to defend the weak, our knowledge to heal the sick, and our friendship to all who desire peace. 6 months after humanity's emergence from the shadows, the galaxy was transforming in ways no one had anticipated. The Galactic Council faced the reality that their 300-year-old lie had actually created something unprecedented, a civilization that had grown powerful without becoming aggressive, advanced without becoming arrogant. The formal ceremony took place on Prima, broadcast to every world in Council space. Ambassador Parks stood before the assembled delegates as Council Leader Vorn, prepared to sign the Treaty of Recognition that would officially acknowledge Earth's sovereignty and humanity's right to operate freely throughout the galaxy. Today, we correct a historical error, Vorn announced, his reptilian features showing genuine respect. 3 centuries ago, the Council declared humanity extinct. Today, we welcome them as partners in our shared future among the stars. The treaty was unlike any other in galactic history. Rather than seeking membership in the Council, humanity had negotiated for something entirely different: the right to serve as independent peacekeepers and humanitarian aid providers throughout the galaxy. Earth would maintain its sovereignty, while working alongside Council forces to protect vulnerable worlds and assist civilizations in need. President Williams addressed the ceremony via holographic transmission from Earth, her words reaching billions of beings across thousands of worlds. We have learned that true strength comes not from the ability to conquer, but from the wisdom to protect. Today, humanity takes its place not as rulers of the galaxy, but as its servants and guardians. The changes were already visible throughout galactic civilization. Human medical teams had established treatment centers on dozens of worlds, bringing cures for diseases that had plagued entire species for millennia. Human agricultural specialists were helping struggling colonies develop sustainable food production. Most importantly, human peacekeeping forces had virtually eliminated piracy in the Outer Rim territories. Captain Rex, the cargo ship commander, who had first detected the impossible signals from Earth, found his trade routes safer than ever before. The mysterious attacks and disappearances that had once made Outer Rim trading so dangerous had ceased completely. When he inquired about the improved security, local authorities simply mentioned that the Guardians were now patrolling the region. Dr. Brooks stood in her new laboratory on Prima, working alongside alien scientists to develop technologies that combined human innovation with galactic knowledge. The cooperation between species was producing breakthroughs that neither could have achieved alone. Your people's approach to problem-solving is remarkable, observed her Altarian colleague Kess, now serving as a liaison scientist. Where we see insurmountable challenges, you see puzzles to be solved through cooperation and creativity. The transformation wasn't limited to technology and security. Human philosophers and artists were sharing their unique perspectives with galactic culture, while human students learned from the wisdom of civilizations thousands of years older than their own. The isolation that had once seemed like a punishment had become humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy. On Earth, children learned about their planet's new role in galactic civilization. Schools taught both human history and the cultures of their alien neighbors. The dream of exploring the stars was no longer fantasy, but daily reality as human ships carried diplomats, scientists, and aid workers to the farthest reaches of known space. General Mitchell reviewed the reports from human operations across the galaxy. What had begun as a defensive military force had evolved into something entirely different: a rapid response humanitarian network that could deliver aid, medical care, or protection to any world that needed it. We've received over 300 requests for assistance this month alone, he reported to the Global Defense Council. Planets that never received help from anyone are now asking specifically for human aid teams. We've become the galaxy's emergency response service. The most remarkable change was in the Council itself. The revelation that humans had been secretly helping struggling worlds for decades had exposed serious flaws in the Council's bureaucratic systems. Inspired by human efficiency and compassion, the Council began restructuring its own aid programs and response protocols. Council leader Vorn found himself working closely with Ambassador Park to address challenges that had seemed impossible to solve under the old system. The combination of Council authority and human capability was proving incredibly effective at resolving conflicts and disasters throughout galactic space. "You have shown us that advancement doesn't require abandoning compassion," Vorn told Park during one of their regular strategy meetings. "Your people have reminded the galaxy what it truly means to be civilized." As the first year of open human-galactic relations drew to a close, Ambassador Park stood on the observation deck of Earth's orbital station, watching ships from dozens of species dock at the growing diplomatic complex. Humans and aliens worked, side by side, sharing knowledge, culture, and friendship. The galaxy had indeed banned access to Earth 3 centuries ago, declaring it a dead zone left untouched. But death had never come to the small blue planet. Instead, something far more powerful had grown in the shadows: hope, wisdom, and an unshakable commitment to protecting all life among the stars. Humanity had finally come home to the galaxy, not as conquerors, but as the guardians the cosmos never knew it needed.